नमस्कार जी, मैं नीलिमा मेहरा, आप ही की होस्ट, आप ही की दोस्त। आपने मुझे अभी रिसेंटली प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी के साथ देखा है। उससे पहले आपने मुझे कई मर्तबा बहुत सारे बॉलीवुड स्टार्स के साथ देखा है, फिर कई रिलीजियस लीडर्स के साथ देखा है। Well, today I have that golden rare opportunity to be with a world-renowned religious spiritual leader by the name of Sir Ishan Shivyog. I would like to share him with you today and see what he has to say about life in general. I think we're all blessed to have his company, to have his words with all our 2.4 million viewers of the Washington metro area. So let's bring him on screen for you and hear his golden words and see what he has to say. Om Namah Shivaya, कैसे हैं आप जी?
Namah Shivaya ji, बहुत अच्छे. First of all, I would like to salute you, the God within you, and I'll be very happy to say that I am so very thankful for being here.
Thank you, sir. I think we're very blessed to have your blessings. So let's begin with my very first question.
Yes.
ये बताइएगा कि what is Shiv Yoga and how was it manifested?
Shiv Yoga is, if I put it a bit simply, it's a software upgrade for your own mind. Because today, if you look at everything, today we are at a point, at a brink of humanity, of civilization, where we have everything. We have medical science, we have technology, we are upgrading everything. Our phones become from 5 to 6, our laptops become better and better, yet we never think about upgrading our own selves. A child will learn A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, but he will never learn about his own mind, about his own capabilities, and that is why we may have all the technologies, but we are lacking happiness. And the moment a person says that there is more to life, it is at that point Shiv Yoga helps that person. Because Shiv Yoga is diving within, finding what we are truly made up of and bringing it to the surface. Merging with the God within is Shiv Yoga. And how it manifested, that I do not know, because the quest to seek the answers has been as long as man itself. So since the dawn of time it has remained, and I am happy to be a part of it.
Beautiful, lovely. Now, sir, the literature states that Shiv Yoga is an ancient science, like you said, because you don't know when it was discovered, but it was always there. How do you see it complementing with the modern sciences and living of today?
I think today it complements the modern science more, because today modern science has become very flexible. Because see, science is developed not on knowing everything. It is developed upon asking the right questions.
So research.
Research, exactly. It's research and development always. And today, when a person meditates, because I believe in a criteria which is facts overpower logic. A man has logic based upon his past, and facts are based upon the present. And through these facts, we can create a better future. And the fact is that when a person meditates, it's proven that automatically his endocrine system becomes better. When a person meditates, his output becomes better. When a person is at peace with his own self, he can do so much more in life. And if that can be arranged, because one is external stimulus, that I need peace, so I find external stimulation or external inhibitors. I find a pill or I find a glass and I put that in my own self, and what happens? My body becomes dependent, my body becomes small, and my body becomes sad. And with Shiv Yoga, what we do is we are not dependent upon external chemicals, because we understand our body has the capabilities to be happy. When we fall in love, we are in a state of trance. When we look at our child, we are at a state of trance. And imagine if you can train your body to be at this heavenly bliss, at this trance, whenever you want. How good that would be.
Beautiful, lovely. I love that explanation. Now, sir, how do you see meditation and yoga any relationship?
Of course, but first you must understand what is yoga. Yoga means union. Yoga not only means exercise, that is a part of it. It's like saying that my nose is a part of my body, but my nose is not my body in itself. Yoga is a beautiful part because it enables our body to do more. Because if a person sits, actually why was there yoga? Because if a person is sitting, he is meditating, and if his body is not fit, then how can he think about meditation if he has pain in the knees? So first you master the body, then what? Then you need to go to the mind, because yoga is good, but it is the first step. After that, the rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and as deep as you want it to go. And that is where meditation comes, after that sadhana comes, and after that samadhi comes. And samadhi means being a human, yet being more and as much as you are capable of becoming.
Wow, beautiful. So then, in your teaching, do you tell people you've got to do yoga to meditate, you've got to meditate to do yoga, or you can have both to emerge, to attain sadhana?
It is part of it. You need to do it. It's the gate. You can't, let go of something. It's like if you want to become a holistic personality, there is a left brain, there is a right brain. There is the logic and there is the creativity. In the same way, you can't say that I will abuse my body, yet I will take the name of God. You will have to take care, and that is something which you have to, because I would love to eat fried cheese and I would love to eat bread and all that, but then at the same time I would love to have six-pack abs.
That's right.
But to have that abs, you will have to pay the price. In the same way, true spirituality, you have to pay a price for whatever it is that you seek, and that is what I teach, honest spirituality.
Lovely. That is so beautiful. Now, sir, ye batayega, I mean, I would like for you to share your experience with us. How does it feel to be the son of the father of an Indian healer and yet belong to such powerful mystical being? Tell us your experience. How does it feel?
It's a huge responsibility, because whenever somebody looks at me, he has an expectation that this is the son of the father. And I used to feel when I was young that this is too much of a responsibility. But then when I traveled the world, I realized that everybody is looking at you with their own eyes. And everybody has their own thoughts about you. Everybody has their own perceptions about you. So earlier when I lived my life, I would live it to fulfill the expectations of other people. That I would be the son of my father more than what I am, so that the other people who judge can be happy. But what I realize is that the people who judge always judge. And what I learned from being the son of my father is I learned to let go. I learned that there is a purpose of my life, and I must live my life for my own self and not for people. Because if I keep altering myself, editing myself for those around me, a day will come when there will be nothing left. So I am a masterpiece in creation, not in deletion.
Beautiful, lovely. So, speaking of your spirituality, your teaching, your healing, your advice to people, जैसे कहते हैं ना म्यूजिकल डांसिंग में हम रियाज करते हैं
जी,
ताकि हम स्टेज पे लोगों के सामने जाए. You know, we are expected to be, hey, number one performer. So, speaking of your personal life, is there such a thing as riyaz before you go in front of people, or it's within you and you just get ready to go out there?
जी, रियाज बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है. Practice, it is very, very important because it creates a neuro pathway. But that is the most beautiful part about our biology. That after a certain time, there is no difference between the music and the musician. After a certain time, there is no difference between a dance and a dancer. The same is with spirituality. A person may say, I will practice it every day, every day, every day. But a day will come when it will go so deep into your intracellular memory that you are one. You are one with it, you are one with that psyche, you are one with that belief. Like you cannot take away the biology from a biologist. Whenever he will look at the world, you will see a pretty face, but that person will see a Homo sapien or a Homo erectus or a Panthera tigris. The biologist will see the biology in the terms of something else. So in the same way, a spiritualist will see the world in terms of divinity. And that is what I have to say, that maybe the first month can be difficult, maybe the first week can be difficult, or maybe the first day can be difficult, but that is the best part. Whatever path you choose for yourself, even if it is anger. If you try hating, in the beginning hate can be difficult, but then it becomes very easy, it becomes a part of you. And the same is with light. Practice, and a day will come, you don't have to do anything. You just sit with the most beautiful person you've seen and you start talking and Amrit comes up.
But sir, I mean, I totally follow what you say. फिर हम मंदिर जाते हैं, मस्जिद जाते हैं, then why do we read Quran and Gita and Bible and Ramayana? I mean, why do we do that in our everyday living?
Gee.
Why not Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya 100 times, 103 times, and you reach? Why do we have to read Quran, Gita, Bible? I mean, what's your answer to that?
My answer to that is,
for example, why does a physician, he's got a neurologist,
true.
Okay, he's got a case or she's got a case coming up. Why does the neurologist go and look at a particular chapter or look at the most recent article that was published and attain knowledge and say, well, this is how I'm going to treat my patient? So phir Bible, Gita, Quran, matlab, why do we have to read that day in and day out?
Excellent. First, let us talk about the neurologist. When you are talking about the neurologist, as I said, evolution is a continuous process. Once upon a time in medical science, the best and the biggest achievement was boiling water. Because boiling water killed parasite. Now you can't say that all my science will be dependent on just boiling water. So science develops every day and there is no harm in upgrading and evolving. The same I do. That is one part. Now let us talk about, when you talked about religion. When we are talking about religion, when we are saying that we wish to upgrade ourselves, do we have the capability to upgrade ourselves? Because I say I am reading the Mahabharata, I say I am reading the Ramayana. Now, so very interesting. Somebody once told me, and he was a psychologist, that we are only using a percentage of our brain, not the whole capacity of the brain, but only a small percentage. Now what he said made a little bit sense to me, not completely.
Why? Because are we lazy? Or do we just choose to do that in our life?
We choose to do that. Look at a person. If a person is being a doctor, he's using more of his cerebral capacity.
That's right.
And if a person is choosing to be a vagabond, he's not using that capacity. So someday that psychologist must be completely right, because if you look at people who are a Nobel laureate, or if you look at people who are not completely walking the path, which they can, so that most definitely shows that we as human beings or as Homo sapiens or as a species only use a capacity. So now when we talk about reading religious books, with how much capacity are we reading the religious books? Because a person with high IQ, a person with science, a person with intellect, when he will read a book, he will take out diamonds. And a person with hate, when he will read a book, he will find what he is looking for. And that is the most beautiful part about humanity, that you will find what you are looking for. So there is no harm in reading the books, but are we able, are we having the capacity to truly grasp the message? Because it is like a poem. If you are a connoisseur, then if you read the poem, for you it has meaning, it has heart, it has depth. But if you are twinkle twinkle little star, then for you it's nothing, you are a parrot. So that is why I say religious books are very important, but first meditation. Ability, peace, calm, happiness. Then when you are at a level to truly understand the word of God, then go for it. Who's stopping you? But at least have the ability to digest.
Beautiful, lovely. I like that. I really do. So there we go. I mean, the Guru himself has spoken. You've got to have that peace of mind, that meditative mind before you read that spiritual chapter in your Gita, Quran, Bible, no matter Mahabharata. And once you have that love and that peaceful mind and that meditative state, I guess it just comes and flows naturally like the river flows into the ocean, if I'm correct.
More than correct.
Thank you. Now, sir, speaking of miracles, it's an art from Lord. You and Shri Babaji are very, very popular here in the United States of America with the power of healing and the miracles within people and for people. How do these miracles happen? How do you define miracles? I mean, explain us.
As I told you, the moment a person boiled water, people said it's a miracle, I am not getting sick when I am drinking water. It's not a miracle. It's simplicity that you are just learning that there is more in the water that I cannot see. And what I cannot see are the bacteria, are the viruses, and so on and so forth. In the same manner, if a person starts to understand that just like there is the physical bacteria, there is the etheric bacteria. And that is a fact. If you talk to a person who's highly negative, in the same manner when you talk to a person who's sick, you are liable to get his sickness. If you are talk to a person who's negative, then you are liable to get the same fear that he is spreading, the same hate that he is spreading, or the same anger. So even our thoughts, we are communicable when it comes to emotions. So this is an understanding, this is a reality. And that is what I teach, or my father teach, that see, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever you are doing, it is leading to something. Because the beauty is that a person one day just wakes up and says, oh my God, I am sick. It is not that today he is sick. He has been walking in the same path, his eating habits, his lifestyle, his thoughts, his actions, his stress. 5 to 6 years or 10 years or 20 years of effort has led him here to where he is right now. But when a person suffers, his immediate reaction is, oh my God, from where did this come from? You have been on a journey. And when we reverse that journey, because if the body can create sickness, most definitely it has the power to create health. Somebody comes to my father and says, oh my God, such a miracle that you released the stone in the kidney without cutting open the kidney. My father says the first miracle is, how did he put the stone without opening the kidney? We create the disease. That is a miracle in itself.
That's right.
We create the stress. That is the most beautiful miracle. Because in life, in today's world, we have everything. Look at history. Man used to live in a constant state of war. There was constant famine. There was constant disease. And we are sort of living in a golden age where you want strawberries, go to a Walmart. You want blackberries, order them. You want something to eat. Everybody I see is having such a calorie overload. Or there is so much that we are getting, yet there is unhappiness. And that is because we are not understanding that we are walking a path. Even disease is a miracle created by man, and even health is a miracle created by man.
So from what I hear you say, is it true that the word self-realization plays a big role in a human's life?
Depends. If a person says my self-realization is once in my life, then it has no role to play. Then it has sort of like a aesthetic value. But if a person says that I choose to be self-realized every day, then that is a true human being. Because every day you will learn so much. Every day your wife will teach you, your children will teach you, your husband will teach you, your brother will teach you, and each teaching in itself has the power to manifest realization. So a true miracle is, or a true spiritual experience is, if I choose that the only thing permanent is evolution, and my realization would be from the day I get up to the time I fall asleep.
Beautiful, lovely. I wish I could hear you speak all day. How beautiful. I mean, it's wealth of information. Now, sir, tell me, very much like Babaji, you have your own family. You belong to a certain, brother, sister, mother, father. And yet your missions that you're involved with, serving the entire world, how do you balance between spirituality and the worldly responsibilities?
Like everybody else, like you.
No, because we're always short of time. It's so hard to balance, we're always off scale. I had to get here at 5 in the morning and I'm like, wait a minute, how do I do this, going to bed at 3 o'clock and meeting a learned gentleman like yourself? Of course, I was a little nervous saying it on camera. So how do we balance this? How do you balance it? I mean, serving the world and yet with the family and yet with your father. Tell us.
See, that is what is so very beautiful, that one is having a busy life and one is having a productive life. I've had a busy life. Having a busy life means sitting on the toilet with the phone in the hand and just going about your way. That is, you are being very, very busy.
So you don't do that anymore?
No, I'm just, listen to me. Having a busy life is, so many things that we do, we feel are so very important, yet if we remove them completely, there would be no change whatsoever.
No charm.
And no charm, I'm not saying the charm will go away, but so many times, like, okay, you open an application for news and then you continue, then maybe the news is not directly affecting you, or maybe the news is affecting you, but maybe that news is marketing, or we don't know what it is basically, and suddenly now you are still in an environment where your wife loves you, where your children are happy for you, but your mind is in a state of alarm, your mind is a state of anxiety. So that person is living a very busy life, but he's not living a productive life. Somewhere down the line, I started to understand that there's a difference. There's a thing that I can do, and there are things which I cannot do. For example, I cannot change the person I am talking to. Okay, and if I try to do that, I have a very busy life.
Yes.
That I have to debate with that person, I have to show them my viewpoint, I have to tell them exactly how bad they are and how good I am. That is a very busy life. And a productive life is that I understand what I can do is that, okay, I cannot change him, but I can be happy with what I have and I can do what really, really matters. So the day I realized that productivity is more important is the day I stopped being affected by so many external stimuluses around me. And when that happens, it's not that I am not busy, trust me. When I am done doing what I do, I have a wife who tends to be sometimes needy, or sometimes I have to prove to her that I love her. I have a son who is like any child, and I am the same, as busy as you. The only thing is that a spiritual man is as busy and a normal man is as busy, but a spiritual man tries to find happiness and productivity in that busyness. So I'm not saying sit under a tree, leave everything. I am saying be where you are, but be happy where you are, and that is where I can help.
And so that happiness leads to productivity. Wow, beautiful. I like that. There we go. We all need to produce and be happy to be in what's called productivity state.
Productivity state.
Beautiful. Now, sir, I know we're running out of time, but your website, and I checked you out, checked the website out, but your website, ishanshivanand.com, it has a wealth of information on practical ways of life and meditation and the importance of sleep and developing healthy mind and body and soul. How do we put all of these in use in today's day and time?
I didn't know I have a website. That is so nice.
You don't know. See, if we all follow you.
See, one thing I would like to say is that following a legend and following reality. The trouble with following history is that somewhere down the line it becomes mythical and it becomes legendary. I gained what I gained in life because I had a living, breathing human being to guide me. And that helped. That helped. Being with my father, listening to him, getting his experience to time that is right now, to the present, really opens the eyes. And that is what I would like to suggest to every single human being, that yes, we have the power to read, yes, we have the power to, imagine, but it is like the same thing. You can keep on reading about a mango, but nowhere can it truly give you the experience of eating a mango. In the same manner, there is so much that we can read, and I also read. I read almost every book that could ever be read, but the experience which I got from being with a person that is living and breathing, it is so very beautiful, because people like this come and go in history, and all that we are left with are stories. We cannot think, we cannot imagine, when we cannot experience anything like this, and the generation is doomed to think of a legend, of a myth. And I think lucky are those who are part of history. And we never know that today the person we are talking to, tomorrow what that person becomes, what that path becomes. When I started learning from my father, I never knew that the whole world would one day make him so busy that even I have to sometimes make an appointment. And that is why I would like to suggest that if you really want to experience something, trust me, your ancestors may have got one thing right, the concept of a guru. Find a guru, find a teacher, learn from him, listen from him, have a path, because a man who doesn't stand for something falls for everything. Have a human being keeping you honest, have a person guiding you, have a person who's there for you, pushing you towards the light, and truly spirituality will come. So read. I'm not saying don't read, but take out time to experience.
Wow. It's very heavy, isn't it? Now, in your experience of teaching, meditation, yoga, dealing with people, looking at people, listening to their stories, giving them advice, it's not only the United States of America, but all throughout the world. What areas do you think people need most attention in?
Themselves. We are so very busy all the time that we forget us. And if we put a little bit time for us, everything else changes. Because everything that you see, all our clothes, all our currency, all our wealth, all our inventions, all our poems, all our sciences come from within somebody. He went within, and we are going to him. When will we go within? Maybe the next wealth the world needs is going to come from within you. Start searching.
Search and the answer will be there.
Of course.
Now, the next question, and I'll be very brief about it, is I read that you work with youth. Quickly share your values about youth with our viewers.
The values I would like to share about the youth is, 1, understand. Understand that there is so much more that you need to experience in life whatever you may feel that you know, there is more. Experiential knowledge is going to come, and that knowledge is going to come from experience. But one way to get that knowledge is look back at life and say, oh, I did this wrong. And one way is to live a life in such a manner that, you know, you don't do anything wrong. Why? Because youth has something that maybe when you grow old you don't have, and that is the law of probability, choice.
That's right.
Opportunity. And in India it's so very nice. I used to listen to some people say that दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे ना कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए. People run to God to escape disease. People run to God to escape ill health. People run to God to escape whatever fears that they have. But youth have the opportunity to be spiritual, not because God is a medicine, but because God is a form of evolution. So yes, I help people who have reached at a certain stage of life, but my help to them is firefighting. And the one thing which I found wonderful about the youth is that with them, I don't need to discuss about firefighting. I can discuss with them true changes that we can bring in humanity, and that is what the youth should understand, that why should we wait for one day, you know, for all things to go south and then we will change our life. Why not today we walk on such a path, we live a life in such a manner that instead of our energies are being wasted from negative to neutral, our energies are being utilized to move from neutral to positive. And these are the youth which I feel have the power to change the world.
Lovely, because I think the younger the child, the younger the person, the easier to install all these values into their mind. Therefore, they grow up into that productivity state.
Personal example.
Prime example. Now, sir, before the camera goes off, you do, he does, she does, we all live in such a very comfort zone. मतलब हम खुश हैं जो हम करते हैं, but yet we're not happy. Why are we not happy? What's the reason?
Try smiling.
Oh.
Try smiling, because sometimes the body has forgotten how to smile. And we are waiting for us that the happiness will come from us, from the person sitting in front of us. But maybe the true happiness has to come from you. So maybe you don't need to expect smiles from other people. Why not we stop expecting and start creating? We start smiling, because when we smile, the world smiles with us, and happiness is one thing which grows more and more if you spread it. So you want happiness, spread happiness, and the more you spread, you shall reap what you sow.
Beautiful, lovely, I love that. Now, sir, and I've asked this question to many other spiritual leaders, and I'm going to not leave you behind either. How do you define the word karma, and how does it affect one's life?
Karma means living with your choices. Some people are very expert in it. They can do anything and they can live with it. Some people are not. For them, the guilt matters so very much. But what we must understand is that even if we are so very strong and immune to our own karma, let us look at it at a broader perspective as a species. Our karma accumulates to create a global consciousness and a global reaction. So it is time we stop seeing karma as a very singular entity, but we start looking at it as a collective consciousness, as a humanitarian approach. And we should not just see what is the reaction of our karma on our own lives, but as a species, what are we leaving behind? Because what you do accumulates and give guidance to the world. And if you bring that happiness, then you inspire 20, 30 other people, and maybe through you, the course of humanity has the power of being changed. Look at the karma of Buddha. Look at the karma of all the great holy human being. They never looked at it as if it is my karma, I have to deal with it, you deal with it, that I am like this. They were different.
Yeah.
They said, it is my karma, but my karma has the power to change the whole world. So that is how I look at karma. And that is how I feel if everybody starts looking at it, the world will blossom like the beautiful flowers behind us.
Oh, beautiful, lovely, lovely. Now, on your recent visit to the United States of America, of course, you were presented with the US flag, jaise sajaya dhajaya flag, by the congressman. But then, on the other hand, June 18th actually is going to be, or was declared as, the Avdut Shivanand Day. How does that make you feel on the global map?
There was Father's Day, one day is for father, there is Valentine Day, one day is for wife, there is Children Day, one day is for child. But I know that if I just give one day to my wife, then she will give so many slippers to me. If I have to be a good human being, I have to give so many days to my wife. In the same manner, I can't say that one day is for God or one day is for the world. If I have to survive, I have to live. I have to eat every day.
That's right.
In the same way, if I have to be spiritual or I have to be positive, just like if I want a garden, I have to trim the garden every day. So in the same manner, these things are good, these things are very nice, and I appreciate them so very much for appreciating the hard work of my father, because see, somewhere down the line I will accept that it is very, very inspiring and it made me so very happy, and it made a special place for US in my heart, and I would always love them. But at the same time, from the people who learn from me, I would like to tell them there is no one day, every day till the time you are on this planet Earth. Just as life goes on, evolution goes on.
Lovely. Now, according to your speeches, you say divinity is contagious.
True.
A line on that to our viewers?
Of course it is. Look at us. Look at so many people listening to us. They must be feeling calm. They must be feeling happy. The moment I was sitting here, I was thinking, nervous, that oh my God, what is going to happen? You touch my hand and you smile, and just that created so much of calm and peace within me. Yet at the same time, if you would have scolded me, you are being unprofessional. What are you doing? Morning 5 o'clock, I have come here looking so very beautiful. You don't understand. Then I would be so very nervous, and I don't know what would have happened in this interview. This 1 minute that we interact with people have the power to change lives. If a meteor is coming towards Earth, a small change in its trajectory truly changes the destination. Now it will go to Jupiter.
That's right.
In the same way, when we are interacting with people, we don't know what we are inspiring. Talk to any great human being, he will always say that there is one incident in my life which truly defined who I am. What if you are that incident?
That's right. That's right.
What if when you are talking to that person would have been the next Einstein, but you were so horrible that that person became the next bad person. So why not we just accept the fact with what I started the interview.
That's right.
That I salute you and I salute the God within you, that every single human being has the potential and power to be God, and if that is the case, then the 1 minute, that is more than ever we have time to spend with anybody.
That's right.
And that 1 minute when that person is with me, I will be that beacon of hope, that inspiration which that human being desperately needs in the world of today.
Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. And before the cameraman turns the camera and the lights off, if I were to ask you, sir, to share with our viewers just a line, a message, especially to the world, how can one improve one's self or being one? How can you improve? What would you say?
Accept a simple fact that just like in the body millions of cells combine to make the human body, in the same way this planet Earth is made by millions of beings. We are all cells of the same body. We are all part of a collective consciousness, and one cell cannot say that I will survive, let the other cells die, and I will be happily ever after. That cannot happen. In a collective consciousness, each and every single cell complements each other, and if we understand that, we accept that, happiness will come.
There you go. There was a beautiful, beautiful interaction, and I think we're all blessed by, I say the Guruji, because I think every spiritual leader on this earth is our Guru. We read, like he says, productivity, जो आप में अंदर है, just reading again and again does not really help heal. So I think you should rewind and play this interview over and over again to get a better life, to get who you are. Because, and I'm no spiritual leader, but I think we all live in a very cruel world. And if we can, and if we do have the opportunity to visit spiritual leaders like this gentleman here, I think we ourselves should consider very, very blessed from the Father above. And I think Washington, D.C. is very blessed to have this spiritual leader here amongst us today. And I do want to तहे दिल से मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ कि आप यहाँ आए and इतना वक्त आपने you spent with our viewers, and I'm sure we're all going to be listening to you over and over again, even though you cross the 7 seas and go back home or travel wherever you go. And before I let you go, of course, you're a very world-renowned speaker. I must say that I've interviewed millions of people sitting on your chair, but you do have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
And I think being a healer, to have that pretty smile, I think it itself is a healing power. So thanks a million for coming, sir. Om Namah Shivaya, and thank you for your blessings to our viewers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.